Okay guys, so I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible for your sake, so it's not a long video. I'm expecting it to be 10-15 minutes though, okay? Because we want to cover the verbs, and the verbs are super important. Page 15, we have a dialogue, and I read the dialogue, but I want you to read it too. I'm just going to point out some keywords, and the ones that I won't point out, a lot of them you should be able to find in vocab lists and things like that in pages we've already done. For example, ¿qué tal? So things like that. I want you to try to figure out what they mean, but other ones I'll go over real quick. So at the beginning, amigos means friends. Muy bien, Marcos says, Elena and them ask ¿qué tal? And Marcos says muy bien. That means very well, not very good. It means very well. And then ¿quién? Means who. ¿Quién es? So who is? Es means he, she, or it is. And ¿quién? Means who. And then Felipe says, es la señorita González. So it is, or she is, or he is, the señorita González. And then Julia says, como es? So how is? In this case, what she's asking is, how is she? How is the señorita González? So what kind of person is she? Not how is she doing? Because we have that question from page 6. It was ¿Cómo estás? How are you? So if it's how is she, ¿Cómo está? How is she doing? But this is ¿Cómo es? Which means how is she? What kind of person is she? And he says excelente. So she is excellent. And then he said, Elena says she is muy inteligente. So intelligent. Cómico. So funny, comical. And popular, which is popular. So 3 words that all are very similar to the English word that they mean, and that is what a cognate is. So we're going to come back to that in a little bit. Then Marcos says excelente, pues, which has a footnote at the bottom, and it means well, and it's just a filler word, like or like when we use like, like when we use like that. That's a filler word. Pues is a filler word. It doesn't, like if somebody asks you, how are you? You can't say, I'm doing well. Muy pues. That doesn't make sense. So, pues is a filler word. And he says, well, yo tomo español este año. I am taking Spanish este año, this year. And then the rest of them say nosotros, or we, también, also. We also. And then Marcos says entonces, which the footnote says means then, or like so then. Entonces, then, somos compañeros de clase. We are classmates. Somos means we are. Now I want you to go back and just look at the bolded words. That's the verb ser, and we're going to look at that specifically today. Ser comes in this dialogue, comes in the form of es and somos. So es means he, she, or it is, like I said, and somos means we are, and they both come from the verb to be. So ser is an infinitive, and it means to be. So anytime you see the word ser, it means to be, but a very specific sense. There's another word that also means to be with different versions. Like I pointed out, como es is different from como está. We're going to get to the difference between the 2 different verbs for to be. But for today, I simply want you to begin memorizing ser and how to use it in all of its forms. 2 of those forms are here, es and somos. If you go back to page 6, you'll see under formal, the first question says, ¿Cómo se llama usted? Which means, what is your name? Or what do you call yourself? One of the answers is yo soy la señora. That means I am la señora Castillo. So soy is another one, just like es and somos, but soy means I am. Es means he is, or she, or it is. And somos means we are. Another one, if you look at the bottom of the informal list, it says, ¿De dónde eres? Which means, where are you from? So where are you from? That are you is the same verb as you are. So eres. ¿De dónde eres? Okay, that's page 6. So now we have soy for I am, eres for you are, es for he, she, or it is, somos for we are, and then the last ones are sois and I want to minimize this and I want you to recognize, when we memorize a verb, I want you to do it as charts, okay? So let me put this up here. You should be able to see this. So we have soy, eres, es. I want you to memorize it in this chart like this. Somos, sois, son. Okay. You'll notice that it's in columns and rows, and that's important. So this first row is first person, and then second person, and then third person. So that means soy and somos are both first person, but the difference is that soy, eres, and es are all singular. And then somos, sois, and son are all plural. And that's a super important difference. So if I tell you or ask you, which one is first person singular, it would be first person singular crisscross on soy. Okay? So the third person plural would be third person plural son. First person is I or we. And we is the same thing as I, it's just more people. Second person is you. So eres is you are. But sois is plural of you. So you all or y'all. 3 is es, which means he or she is. And the plural is the same thing as he or she, but more of he or she, which is they. So son. So I am. Let's put these like this now. We've got first, second, third, and singular, plural. So those words mean I am, you are, he or she or it is, I am is, or somos is we are. You all are. The word all isn't in it, but the idea of y'all, as opposed to you by yourself, is in sois. That's what sois means. And then he, she, or it, son means they are. So again, these are all correlated with these ones above, okay? So soy means I am, because they're both first person singular. Whenever we learn a new verb, this is how I want you to memorize it. So memorize it by practicing over and over. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. You should start to hear a pattern, a flow, and a rhythm as you memorize it. That's going to help you memorize all the new verbs, because then once you get the pattern memorized, if you need to know how to say they, whatever the verb is, they speak. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. The last one, hablan, so is they speak. So then you have a new verb memorized. That's what I want you to practice. So let's go back to our page, to our book. And turn the page to page 16. 16 has some cognates at the top. Cognates are words that sound a lot alike in each language, and they mean the same thing. So for example, activo, you can guess, means active. All of these words here in this list are adjectives, but not all cognates are adjectives. You can have cognates that are nouns and verbs and other ones too, but we're just going to start with adjectives because they're easiest. Notice that whenever an adjective is describing a noun, it changes depending on the gender of the noun. So if you're talking about an active boy, activo is correct. If you're talking about an active girl, activa would be correct. And then if you're going to make an adjective plural, just like nouns, it follows the same rules. If it's a vowel, you add an S. If it's a consonant, you add ES. And if it's, this is making it plural, so activos would be plural, boys who are active. Difícil would be the singular of difficult, and difíciles would be the plural. So los chicos difíciles, the difficult boys. And then if it ends in a... Oh, we don't have any like that. So what you need to know is how to change these adjectives based on gender and number, which is singular, plural, and what they mean. Okay? That's going to be on the quiz. So make sure you're familiar with those cognates. And by the way, if you want to know how to say cognates in Spanish, it's cognados, which means cognados is a cognate. So that's ironic. Okay, page 17 has some more about the verb ser. You should read that. It says most languages have multiple forms of each verb, and the base form of a verb is called the infinitive. So the infinitive of a verb is the one that says to do something. In this case, to be. You should read the rest of that and become familiar with the verb ser. Then on page 18, we have subject pronouns. You guys are in 9th grade, so you've already taken English at some point, and you should know what subject pronouns are. They're the pronouns that refer to the person doing the action. So whatever the action is, in this case, being, because the verb is to be, subject pronouns are going to be words like I am. Me is not a subject pronoun, because you would never say me am. You say I am. So these are words that refer to the person doing the action. And that's super important that you understand that the one doing the action is the subject. So let's look at these pronouns. Yo means I, tú means you, but recognize the accent mark. If you don't have the accent mark on the word tú, then it means your, which is not a subject pronoun. So tú with the accent means you, as in you are the one doing the action. So tú eres. So you are the one doing the action of being. Then usted means you, but you use es instead of eres. Él also means he, but notice the accent mark again. Without the accent mark, the word él means the. But here, with the accent mark, it means he. So make sure that you get that right too. And then ella, one specific thing about ella, it's not él and ella. When two L's come together in Spanish, it makes a Y sound. So él and then ella. Then nosotros for we and nosotras for we, when whoever's saying we is including only girls. Nosotras. So nosotros, and then vosotras is you all, but only if you, vosotros is you all, and vosotras is you all if whoever you're talking to are all girls. Vosotras. Ustedes is for you all, but it's the formal version. And then ellos and ellas for they. Ellos is boys, all boys, or boys and girls. And ellas is all girls for they. So ellas son, they are something, whatever. Felicidades. Okay. I want you to read on your own, especially the section at the top of 16 about cognados. Read that section. Read the bottom of 17 where it talks about the verb ser, and on to 18, the rest of the verb ser and pronouns. You need to know those pages, and then you can do your homework activities. So your homework is going to be 13, 14, and 17. So let's just quick look at that. 13 is simply asking you questions about the dialogue, and you have to respond with the correct answer. So the first one, ¿Cómo se llama la profesora? Or what is the professor's name? Or what does the professor call herself? That's what it's asking. A, B, or C? What does she call herself? And you need to answer that based on the dialogue. Okay, activity 14 are all cognates. You need to circle the cognate that is not like the other ones. So serio is a cognate for serious. Introvertido is a cognate for introverted. Cómico is a cognate for funny or comical. And tímido is a cognate for timid. So cómico, funny, is not like serious, introverted, or timid. So you would circle cómico. That's activity 14. And then lastly, activity 17 on page 19 is choosing the right pronoun. So let's do the first one. The first 3 lines say, Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Or hi, what's your name? And then the person responds, Me llamo Marcos. I call myself Marcos. And then Andrea responds to Marcos and says, blank, soy Andrea. So which pronoun, looking at this whiteboard again. It's not there. Never mind. So she says, blank, soy Andrea. You need to figure out which pronoun. Yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ustedes, ellos, or ellas. Which pronoun is the one that goes with soy? In this case, it would be yo. So yo soy Andrea. She says, I am Andrea. And then she says, y él es Fernando. So Fernando, she's talking about him. Again, think in the perspective of the person speaking. Andrea is speaking. So yo means first person. She says I. And then she's talking to Marcos. So Marcos is second person. And third person is anybody else. So she says to Marcos about Fernando, which is a third person. So he's third person singular. Fernando. Fernando es, and the pronoun would be he, right? Because he's a boy, Fernando. So él, not ella. So yo soy Andrea y él es Fernando. And you need to write the right pronoun. The pronouns are given to you at the top, but don't cross them out when you use one because they'll use some of them more than once. So, okay, that's your homework. If you have any questions, please email me and I'll be happy to help you out.